Department of Educational Administration at the University of Saskatchewan is so very pleased to be involved in the National Congress on Rural Education. We would like to give a heartfelt congratulations to the organizing committees throughout the life of the conference. It is now in its 20th year, and we are so very pleased with all of the successes that have made their way through the conference over its life.
Reasons for starting the Congress, they're the critical point in the development of Saskatchewan education. We were suffering the consequences in the rural areas of the decline in the student enrollment in the province. The second issue that arose was there are major changes in the curriculum and in the purposes of schools, and the rural schools found themselves with low enrollments and low resources, so that they were having difficulty bringing in the curriculum change. The third area of change was we had a huge influx of teachers into the profession in the 60s and 70s. And by the 1990s, there was a major retirement period, and the rural schools were losing their experienced teachers. I'm talking about teachers teaching 6, 7 fields of study and carrying mixed grades. And so that was a period when everybody realized that something had to be done about rural education. So there was no forum for people who were involved in rural education to go to find out what others were doing, other than to the United States. And the forum in the United States at that time was addressing issues of their federal government, and so it was really irrelevant to what was happening in Canada.
Well, the first general question that comes up was, why was this conference there at all? The main difference in this conference was it was intended for an audience with a wide range of different roles and interests, and all people that attended were viewed to be equal participants.
I think networking was probably the biggest thing to come out of the Rural Education Congress, even beyond our expectations. The groups of people networking with other agencies, individual researchers from the university discussing their work with trustees and with school administrators and central administrators, and the discussion of really good praxis-oriented work that was happening in school systems around the country. Those discussions were very valuable. I think one of the other impacts was the change of mindsets that went on.
I've had the pleasure of welcoming and greeting and introducing a number of the keynote speakers. Two that stand out in my mind for their graciousness and for their words are Pinball Clemens and Sasha Trudeau. Pinball Clemens was a bundle of energy, but he was also an incredible listener. From the time that he was introduced to people until he left, he was asking questions about them, listening and learning about how we do things here in Saskatchewan, and probably did one of the best jobs in terms of integrating our theme from our Congress into his speech. Another incredibly gracious individual was Sasha Trudeau, with the kind of family background and opportunities to do things around the world. He came with such a humble attitude and such a humble message.
One of the unique aspects of the Congress is that you can go and sit in on some sessions and learn something absolutely new, something that you maybe hadn't thought of before, an opportunity to see some colleagues from across the country presenting on something that could be very interesting to the participant in their context, to something that they maybe hadn't considered. I've never forgotten the presentation that Stephen Lewis did several years ago. He talked about visiting children in hospitals and asking them the question if you could have anything. And these were kids who were so very, very damaged by the strife in Africa at that time that he was doing that work. And he asked them, if you could have anything, what would it be? And their response was to go to school.
I guess my best part of the conference has been so far just gaining a bunch of different perspectives and heading out to the field.
Do you know what? I think it's all of the new information that I was able to gain, and it's really exciting to be able to take it back to compare to what my SCC is doing and some of the new and innovative ways of thinking to bring our school to the next level.
Well, from attending the sessions, it's just been exciting seeing all the new and innovative ideas that teachers in the field are coming up with.
The national scope to it. There's people here from every province and territory in the country, so it's fun meeting new people and getting new ideas.
For me, the students, of course, have to be the biggest highlight, and the presence of the student and the dynamism they brought to things. Also, I think the leadership of the Congress, and I don't think we can really leave an exercise like this without congratulating the leaders of the Congress, the committees, and of course Cecile, and earlier on Fran Roberts. But the two directors in that first 10 years, Joe Zolkovich, and in the latter 10 years now Brian Keegan, and their contribution to the Congress has been enormous, and their leadership has been consistently strong. So job well done. I think they did a great job.